This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome into you. I'm Rebecca Smith.
And I'm Bill Bryant. It's great to have you with us on WKYT. And now at 6 a.m.
This morning, the authority
are still on the scene of the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, and we're going to get the latest details as to what is going on there with a report for you this morning.
Vigils being held around the country to mourn the shooting victims. We'll tell you how in Lexington people are paying tribute.
And we're glad to have you along this morning. We do want to get to the very latest on the investigation into the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. And many friends and family members are still waiting for word from inside that club this morning. Kenneth Craig is live in Orlando, Florida, with the latest information as the new information comes out this morning. Kenneth?
Good morning. It has been more than 24 hours since this all unfolded here in Orlando, and you can see authorities still have this entire area blocked off as they go through that club room by room trying to identify the dead.
One by one, the bodies of the victims were hauled away from the Pulse nightclub Sunday night. Earlier, anxious family members sobbed as they learned the fate of their loved ones. Police say 29-year-old Omar Mateen, armed with an AR-15 semi-automatic assault rifle and a handgun, opened fire in the crowded gay club around 2 Sunday morning. Clubgoer Sean Royster escaped amid the chaos.
They were like dragging bodies, people that were wounded, just to get them out of the way. Yeah, probably the worst feeling I've ever felt in my entire life.
The FBI is investigating the incident as an act of terrorism after Mateen went into a club bathroom and called 911 to pledge his allegiance to ISIS before he started shooting.
The FBI first became aware of Mateen in 2013 when he made inflammatory comments to coworkers alleging possible terrorist ties.
The FBI looked at him again in 2014 to investigate potential ties to an American suicide bomber in Syria. The agency says it closed both investigations because Mateen did not pose a threat at the time.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms says Mateen legally bought the guns used in Sunday's massacre.
He did purchase 2 firearms, a handgun, and a long gun within the last few days.
The shooter's ex-wife told reporters she left her marriage after only 4 months.
He was mentally unstable and mentally ill.
Authorities will release the names of more victims today.
So far, 21 of the 50 victims have been publicly identified. They range from 20 to 50 years old. In Orlando, I'm Kenneth Craig. Now back to you.
All right, Kenneth. Well, Islamic State Radio calls Mateen one of the soldiers of the Cephalid in America. Meanwhile, American Muslim leaders are condemning the attack. Well, hundreds gathered at Triangle Park in Lexington last night to mourn the 50 lives lost.
They showed support for the gay community in Lexington and across the country. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is joining us live this morning with more on a vigil honoring Orlando.
Good morning, Rebecca and Bill. The outpouring of support for those impacted by the mass shooting continues with more vigils planned today, including here in Kentucky. Those following one that was held here in Triangle Park behind me just last night. Hundreds gathered in Triangle Park after the tragedy that rocked our nation. Many standing in support of the LGBTQ community, saying they are determined to not let hate win. Many Lexington city leaders were on hand to help remember the dozens of lives lost. Lexington is a city that will hold its Pride Festival in just 2 weeks.
For we know, yes, we all know, that freedom and justice and liberty will always prevail over hate.
This is all our community, and everyone is welcome, and we will be there for you.
Now, folks from here in Central Kentucky will come together again this evening as St. Mark Catholic Church in Richmond is planning a special service to be held tonight at 6 o'clock, where they will pray for Orlando and remember those lives lost. For now, live in downtown Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Hillary, thank you. And just hours after the Orlando shooting, an Indiana man was arrested with several weapons in California. Police say he planned to harm a gay pride parade happening in Hollywood. Rebecca's now at our alert desk with the details on that.
Santa Monica police say Wesley Howell told officers he wanted to bring harm to the gay pride event taking place in Hollywood. Hundreds of thousands of people attend the annual event. Here's what we know. After Howell was arrested, police found 3 assault rifles and several rounds of ammunition in his car. They say a bucket of chemicals typically used to make an explosive device were also found. Investigators have not released a motive behind what Powell may have had in plan. Those plans he had in motion. Police do not think he has any ties to the mass shooting that happened in Orlando.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. We have new information now about an overnight shooting in Lexington. The victim was shot in a parking lot on Cambridge Drive. He is recovering at UK Hospital, and that's where he has told police that he knows the shooter, but does not know his name. He says that man punched him in the face before shooting him in the leg. Police are still looking for the gunman, who they say was wearing all black with a mask covering his face. Firefighters are trying to figure out what sparked a fire at a Lexington apartment complex overnight. Crews were able to contain the fire quickly, but residents living in the building have been forced from their homes. WKYT's Mike Byer is live at the scene with more details. Mike?
Good morning, Bill. I'm outside of the Dalton Court Apartments, where several people are fortunate to be injury-free after this apartment building behind me catches fire. Now, Lexington firefighters say when they arrived on scene, they saw smoke coming from a vent towards the top of Building 12. They tell us the fire started in the attic of this apartment building. We're told because of the rafters and insulation in the attic that it was a smoldering type of fire. Now, firefighters vacuumed out most of the insulation to make sure that the fire doesn't restart. As a result, everyone living in the building was evacuated. At this time, we're not sure how many people were evacuated, but we're told they have to find a place to stay until the city inspector gives the okay to return. Now, the good news is that no one was hurt and that this building did have working smoke detectors. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. The cause of a deadly fire in Pike County also under investigation this morning. The Feds Creek Volunteer Fire Department says one person was killed after an apartment near Mouthguard yesterday morning. The apartment was connected to Roger Shortridge Grocery. Firefighters say the fire destroyed both of those buildings.
The trial for a high-profile Lexington murder case will continue this morning. Mark Taylor faces murder and kidnapping charges for the 2013 death of Alex Johnson. Johnson's body was found stuffed in a barrel on the Kentucky River. The jury heard testimonies from Johnson's mother and girlfriend last week. Timothy Ballard also took the stand and testified against Taylor as part of a plea deal.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's actually a really nice start to the day, and we get into your afternoon, it'll feel much better than this weekend. We had 90 degrees Saturday, 92 on Sunday. That didn't feel too good. You know what? We had a little wind to go with this weekend, so that helped us out big time. But the look across the area still dealing with a few clouds down in the far southern half of our viewing area. That is your front trying to push on through. And so when you're walking out the doors here early this morning in the Bluegrass region, northbound and eastbound, you're actually feeling the winds coming in from the north and northeast. It's a pretty nice experience as you walk out the door this morning. Down far southern half, you're not feeling it just yet. You'll start to experience that as we travel in towards your afternoon. 68 degrees now in Somerset. When I walked in this morning, we were at 72 there, and Lexington now at 67. Frankfort was at 72 when I walked in. So yeah, we're really getting that cooler. It's not so much about how cool it is today, it's about the drier air filtering on in. So the humidity will be much lower later on today, and that's the big thing when we head off toward late spring and also into early summer. 85 degrees later on this afternoon. Like I said, it's not a huge drop, it's more about the less humidity outside. And so plenty of sunshine. Grilling out will be perfect. Out at the ball fields will be perfect. If you're trying to head out to the pool, great for that too. Out at the lake, no problems whatsoever. And then we head into the night and into tomorrow morning. Still don't see any issues. So the work week start is pretty good. But then we hit Tuesday off into Wednesday. That's when we have those storm chances in the forecast. The better opportunity is going to be on Wednesday, as we have a 40% chance of rain on Tuesday. Wednesday's more of about a 60 to 70% chance of rain. And that day on Wednesday is when we could quite possibly pick up a couple of severe storms. So that's really the day to watch, is more of Wednesday as opposed to Tuesday. But then Thursday, it's really warm. That front moves on through Thursday night and Friday off into your weekend. Guys, it's going to be much better than this past weekend. We're talking 10 to even 15 degrees cooler than what we felt this past weekend. So this past weekend, low 90s. This coming weekend is more like your low to mid 80s. really, really nice experience as we undergo some much cooler air, some much drier air as we head towards your Friday off into your weekend.
All right.
I like that look. That look looks good.
It does.
90, 93. Yeah, it's
It was a little steamy out there. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, thank you, Mike. It's 6:10 now, and we want to check and see what's going on the roads.
You know, I hear we have a special friend, perhaps. Is that Officer Don?
Let's check him out with live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
I'm only special because you're stalling because I hadn't turned my camera on yet. But I know I get that shout out and I appreciate it. Yes, I am here, and I can tell you there are no wrecks right now. We just checked Man of War from one end to the other. So far, so good from the interstate over to Versailles Road, and everything in between looks decent. Let's get a look outside, and we'll show you overall Lexington flow this morning inbound on Nicholasville Road, also on Harrodsburg Road. And outside, no major issues to deal with. Our drive times look pretty good, too, dealing with about 12 minutes from Nicholasville, about 13 minutes from Versailles. And as we get a live look, courtesy of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government traffic cam there, we can see no problems on Harrodsburg Road at the moment through the crossover. Of course, we'll keep you up to date throughout the morning, and we'll let you know what's happening. Now back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Light traffic so far, so if you want to sneak on out right now and get in there, you'll probably get it done on this Monday. Good to have you with us on WKYT. We have a lot more news on the way.
As we learn more about the massacre at a gay nightclub in Orlando, vigils and moments of silence are being held around the country. I'm Hannah Daniels in New York. I'll have more on this show of solidarity coming up.
The country is mourning with Orlando as folks across the U.S. gather for moments of silence, marches of defiance, and emotional vigils.
Hannah Daniels has reaction to the gay nightclub shooting that left 50 dead and dozens more wounded.
A crowd gathered in front of the White House last night, calling for increased tolerance and the end of violence towards the LGBT community and ethnic minorities.
My name is Mikhail Rashid. I am a black gay Muslim. And if you hear Islamophobia, if you hear homophobia in your daily lives, you've got to stand up. You've got to stand up. That's the only way this changes.
While the victims from the Pulse nightclub shooting are slowly being identified, Nicole Hockley can relate in a way many can't. She lost her son Dylan in the mass shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. Hockley has been through the torturous wait.
That wait feels like a lifetime. I mean, I remember when they told me Dylan was one of the 20 children killed, I couldn't believe it, because how could my son be there one moment and gone the next?
Ryan Reyes also understands loss and violence all too well. His boyfriend Daniel was killed in the San Bernardino massacre.
I'm devastated. I mean, anytime something like this happens to our community, it is soul-wrenching.
A somber scene over the city that never sleeps, as the Empire State Building blacked out its lights in honor of those killed. One shining light, the spire at One World Trade Center, was lit in rainbow colors to show solidarity with the LGBT community. Hannah Daniels, CBS News, New York.
And President Obama has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff at the White House and at federal buildings until sunset Thursday as a mark of respect for victims of what he called the act of hatred and terror.
The hip-hop musical Hamilton took top honors at last night's Tony Awards, winning Best Musical. The show raked in 11 wins, but did not break the record for the most Tonys. That record set back in 2001 by the producers. In response to the Orlando shooting, the Hamilton cast did not use muskets in its performance. The Pittsburgh Penguins now stand at the pinnacle of the hockey world after being crowned the 2016 Stanley Cup champions. The Penguins captured the Stanley Cup by beating San Jose 3-1 on the road to eliminate the Sharks in 6 games. It's the 4th time in team history and the 2nd time since 2009 the Penguins have been crowned the champions.
Time this morning is 6:17 here on WKYT. A rescue package may soon be on its way to help Puerto Rico to deal with a crippling $70 billion debt there. The U.S. House overwhelmingly backed the bipartisan bill that would create a financial control board and allow restructuring for some of the U.S. territory's debt. Puerto Rico owes a $2 billion payment to creditors on July 1st after missing several payments. The bill now goes to the U.S. Senate. Facebook activated initiated its first safety check in the United States after Sunday's mass shooting in Orlando. The tool lets people in the area of a disaster or crisis let loved ones know that they are okay. It's previously only been used during terror attacks and natural disasters overseas. Well, you've heard of credit card debt and student loan debt, but what about cookie debt? That's the term given to those who don't pay Girl Scouts for popular cookies that they have purchased. It's a growing problem for Scout troops in northern Illinois especially. Officials there say the current cookie debt for 15,000 Girl Scouts for 16 northern Illinois counties totals about $20,000. Girl Scout officials say troop members are now barred from selling cookies until all of their debt is settled. Well, Apple kicks off its annual developers conference in San Francisco today after its first quarterly revenue drop in more than a decade. Apple is expected to announce that Siri, its virtual assistant, will be open to outside developers, and also some changes to Apple Music. Those are anticipated to be announced this week. What is the best state to retire in? Kiplinger looked at factors like every state's economy, taxes on retirees, and health care. The top 3 states were Georgia, Utah, and South Dakota. South Dakota #1. By the way, Kentucky came in as the 12th worst state to retire in. So there you go, some thoughts.
That list surprises, huh?
Yeah.
WKYT this morning is just getting started. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine has released its sleeping guidelines for children. We'll tell you just how much shut-eye those kiddos should be getting after the break.
Some much nicer air filtering in today. It's a really nice feel outside, and then we head towards your next couple of days. Here comes the warm air. Here comes the thunderstorms too. Any severe weather threat? I'll have that coming up next.
Welcome back. It is 6:23 on your Monday morning. People across the country continue to mourn the victims of the mass shooting in Orlando.
That's what is trending at this hour. Investigators say at least 50 people were killed, while more than 50 others were injured when Omar Mateen opened fire at a gay nightclub. Law enforcement officials say Mateen pledged allegiance to the Islamic State. The tragedy marks the worst mass shooting in this country's history. Now let's get a quick check of our weather as we're anticipating a nice day ahead. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
Fantastic weather ahead. 64 now in Jackson as that sun is rising. Everybody dealing with sunshine early this morning. Far southern half, that's where you're still seeing a few clouds here and there. And the difference from 64 degrees right now and say Jackson and also Harlan, and then you go up towards 67. 67 sounds a little bit warmer, right? And it is temperature-wise. But the actual humidity is dropping much better in the northern zones than it's, say, opposed to the southern and southwestern half. That front's pushing on through. It's going to take some time down in the far south and southwestern zones. But let me tell you this. We get into your afternoon, and it's going to be a really nice day in store. 85 degrees with your emoji cast. Everybody will need sunglasses for today, and that low humidity, that is going to be the talker for today once you hit the afternoon. A much better experience with this weather than this past weekend. The focus of the forecast, guys, we're going to be looking at a nice looking day today, but those storms will start to move in tomorrow off into your Wednesday with that severe weather threat we're going to be talking about toward midweek. It's not a great chance, but it is there. I'm going to show you when you can expect that and what we actually expect out of these coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, thank you. 6:25 on WKYT.
Well, this story is one that I've been wondering about. How much sleep should my 3-month-old baby be getting? Okay, so for the first time, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine releasing some guidelines for us parents to let us know how much shut-eye the kids should be getting.
But the group is telling parents not to lose too much sleep themselves over those guidelines. The Academy is recommending 12 to 16 hours of sleep, including naps, for babies 4 to 12 months old. And it says teens, 13 to 18 years old, should be getting about 8 to 10 hours. The Academy says adequate sleep is linked with improved attention, behavior, learning, mental, and physical health. So it's important at any age.
And parents, good luck to you on getting sleep when you have kids, right? In general. Well, in Wales, a seagull turned bright orange after falling into a vat of chicken tikka masala.
It is believed that the gull was scavenging for food when it got stuck in the thick sauce. The bird was rescued and taken to a nearby hospital hospital. Staff cleaned the seagull until it returned to its original color, but said that it still smelled spicy the next day. They named the gull after a British TV presenter known for his tanned complexion, by the way.
Huh.
So there
What's
you
the
go.
name? What, did we get the name?
I don't know if we get the name of the guy, but...
Interesting. I'll have to look that one up.
There you go. But anyway, there's the seagull now.
Quite a change there for that little gull.
6:26 is our time on WKYT this morning. It's so good to have you with us. We have a lot of news going on this morning, of course, and much of that is focused on Orlando. Hundreds more of people now have donated to help the shooting victims there in Central Florida.
Why the blood centers in Orlando say they need much more. Coming up at 6:30.
Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $239 million. Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $153 million. We'll be right back on WKYT This Morning.